Hi, George Durkee again, Columbia College GIS program with the second video, well, really the third video in our series, so let's say the second lesson. And this will be beginning your web app, and I'll probably do two videos here because I will have forgotten stuff in this video, and so I'll add addendum afterwards. Anyway, so let's look at our web map. And this serves as the basis of your eventual web app. And just as a side note, notice that it's updating automatically. And if you compare it to the previous video that I made this morning, notice that you're getting a whole bunch more MODIS hotspots right along here. And that's probably a result of increasing winds that are popping up the fire a little hotter. But with luck, uh, they're going to keep it within the lines there. Well, they don't have lines, but in any event, with luck, it won't spread any further. So to begin converting this to an app, you go to share. There's a couple of ways to do this, but when you're in your web map, go to share, and you can change anything at any time. You know, if we turn on or off a layer or remove a layer and then save, it'll show up in the app. So you're not committed to what this looks like right now, but we've got it roughly as we want it. So we're sure ready to create an app. So go to share, and then you get a link to the map, and you can choose who to share it with, everyone, you know, the public, or just within the Columbia College GIS program. And I think for the purposes of assignments, as I said, I'd like everyone to do an app, preferably this one, which you've put together for a fire information map. And then I'd like to review your apps early next week, and that'll be in the assignments. But anyway, so just limit those to Columbia College. I've put it out to everyone because I've actually been sharing this with friends in Santa Rosa. CAL FIRE now has very good maps coming out, but at the beginning they didn't. And so we want to create a web app, so click on that. And now you have the choice of selecting some standardized templates, and we'll go through those in a later video. And notice that they all have headers of type. But we're going to do a more customized one, and so choose, we'll do these later, the already configured apps, but right now let's go through how to use the web app builder. So click on that, and it's filled in your title, but we're going to make sure we call this the app. It's just easier to remember when you see it in your table of contents. And summary, it's fire information map draft, and of course the author. And this allows you to share it the same way as the map. So if you change one, it changes in the app. So if I uncheck everyone, it would uncheck that in the app. And we get started. Takes a little while to load here. And then you're presented with, and it'll take a while to build the map, but your first choice on the upper tabs here are going to be theme, and we have to wait until it loads the data. And once the data is loaded, didn't load MODIS, but we'll worry about that later. Then you choose your theme. So for instance, if you choose billboard, then it sets it up in the what they call the billboard theme or the box theme. And notice in the box theme, a couple of the widgets come up down here in the lower right. But I'm going to stick with this one, foldable theme. And all of these can be changed later. Then you choose a color. Let's go with blue. So that changes your upper bar here. And your layout, several choices there. One thing to consider in layout, depending on your map, is you don't want your tools and widgets to interfere with what you want visible on the map. Now, in an ArcGIS paper map or PDF or whatever you end up doing, that's static, of course. So for instance, you'd want your tools to be over here in the upper right, say, if you have your data showing up here. But on the whole, let's just accept that. Then you go to Map. And this allows you to change your web map if you want, but we went directly from the web map to creating the app, and so we'll stick with that, of course. But if you have other different types of web maps, you're trying several different types, then you can change that. That'll go to your table of contents. Use current map view, and let's go with that, because then the home page will return us to that. And default extent, that means the same extent as the web map. Let's just keep it. And then customizable scales. Let's just go with the defaults here. And honor each layer's interval for refreshing. Now actually Modus refreshes on its own. That's actually set into their server. You may remember I set it to refresh every 30 minutes. But you can do both, or you can use a single interval for all non-static layers, but let's just go with each layer's interval. And save early and often in case things crash or you make a mistake or something like that. And then you go to your widgets, and these are your tools, and the way that you or a viewer can interact with the map. And this top set of widgets are what actually show up permanently on the upper left toolbar here. So for instance, your zoom slider here, notice how that highlighted in red when I hovered over it. You can edit that and change it. There's what's called high, the splash screen here, and that's got a little eye with a slash through it, which means it won't be visible. But let's make it visible, and that's what comes up when you first open the app. Let's go to Edit, and right now it's got the Esri World symbol. Let's get rid of that, and let's get the left-hand margin there, and let's. This is something you just put in as a greeting. Hi, welcome to ... and then you'd list your sort of your cover your ass cautions in using the map. Let's call it from live publicly maintained servers. When in doubt, and you'd obviously write this a little better. Call 911, and we'll just go with that for the moment. And so say that shows up here, and you can that was your standard editing text editing box, so you can change the font and the color and the background color and all that. But for the moment, let's just go with that. And next, so Some of the other stuff here, overview, scale bar. So the scale bar, let's edit that. Notice that highlighted in the lower left there. And let's do both English and metric here. And okay, so notice that now comes up in miles on the bottom and kilometer on the top. And home. My location, I'm actually going to get rid of that. I mean, if you're in the area of the map, you might want that. Well, actually, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, let's keep that. If you're intending this for people in the fire area, then using my location would help them quickly find where they are. Notice you've also got coordinates in decimal degrees down in the lower left there. But let's accept all that for the moment, and let's go to the widgets. And so notice as I highlight these, they're highlighted up here, which are right now unused widgets. So highlight the first one, and you're given a bunch of choices. So first one, let's choose information. So that allows you to write in any instructions on how to use this. And you know, once again, oops, product version, we don't need that. You know, do this, then do this, or this is intended XYZ, and spell intended right if you can. Right click intended, and let's just go with that for the moment. Well, I'll tell you what, let's create a larger font here. Where'd font go? Oh, there it is, of course. So extra small. Let's go to large. Okay. So then the second, or what's now number one, let's give a bunch of base map choices. And you can configure right now, let's just, well, we don't need oceans, for instance, but you can go through later and get rid of some of those and just give, say, 3 or 4 choices. But for the moment, let's just go with that. Next, let's allow to share, and you can choose share by email, Facebook, Twitter, or Google, and it'll also come up with a link to both the view and the URL. And as I said earlier, in this particular case, some of the data is proprietary or by subscription through your ArcGIS online commercial or student account. So without granting permissions for that, when you share, you'd get a warning saying, okay, that layer will not load. But in a moment, I'll show you how to make sure that's shared as well. And let's do another one here. Also go through all of these either one by one or just to get an idea what's there and what you can do. So you can do a time slider, and if you saw my last video or a swipe or something like that, that would allow you to load a couple of images from different times or data from different times and compare the two. But let's, oh, measurement. Let's do measurement here. And so that allows you, and then choose your default units, but you can turn on or off whether it's area, distance, or location. Let's go with all three. So you could click and get decimal degree location, for instance, and measure area and distance in acres or miles. Well, let's go with that. And last, let's choose print to be able to print the map. And you get a whole bunch of choices there, but we'll stick with the defaults to start with, though when you actually choose print, you can choose to print it in any of those file formats, JPEG or whatever, as well as the size of the depending on your printer capabilities. So let's go OK. Okay, and once again, save early and often. And let's get a preview here. And so here's what comes up when you first open it. You can choose not to show the splash screen again for your warnings or explanation or whatever you put in there. And let's go OK. And also it gives you the opportunity to get an idea of what it will look like on various portable devices, tablets and phones and so on. So if you choose Surface Pro, you see where it what it shows up like there, and you get a QR code that allows you to have it show up on a device. Let's go back to configure, because that looks reasonably good. And now finally, let's go to attributes, and this allows you to change the title bar there, Draft Emergency Fire App Map. Not a great title, but for the moment, let's go with it. And the subheading with Web App Builder for ArcGIS, and you would probably want something else there. You can add links. For the moment, we won't touch that. Extra data sources, same, but subscriber content. So remember where I said that several of the data sources we're using are subscription. So you want to check those to make sure that when you share the map, that everyone can see it without having to sign into an account. So that was traffic, real-time wildfire, and global surface winds. Now, when it might, in some cases, charge your account, and there will be a little symbol here. I can't quite remember what the symbol looked like, but there will be an extra symbol by the file showing that if other people use this map, then it might charge credits against your account. The good news is the Columbia College has quite a few credits, but the even better news is that none of these server apps will charge against the account. And I didn't mention the search function here, the search box. That's pretty good. You can enter an address and it'll zoom right into that address, or just a town, or whatever you want to do. So I think we're pretty good here. We'll save one last time because we changed these settings. And remember, you're not stuck with what you're seeing here. If you want to change something, you can go back to the web map. If you want to add data, remove data, whatever, or check and uncheck from your web. Not that one. It's disappeared. Well, anyway, if you uncheck a layer from your web map, it'll not appear here. You can get rid of it. So anyway, we've saved. So let's launch the app and see what it looks like on a desktop. And there's your welcome screen, and everything fills in. Looks pretty good. So okay, that's how to set up your basic web app. And as I said, in the next video, I will go into a few more details, but on the assignment, I'd like folks to um, uh, set up a web app, and on the assignment I gave a due date in next week. So just to review them, I don't expect anything fancy, but I just want to see that everybody can go through the steps of adding layers and then creating a web app. And I will show you, like I said, different templates and different ways to create a web app. And then in the next few videos, I'll go over creating a story map using photos, and also a geoform map. We'll probably do both of those next week. So, okay, thanks. If you have questions, send me a note, and you know how to get a hold of me. And okay, see you guys later.